What's up, y'all? It's me back with another video. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, like this video, comment below, and go check out my other videos. The video before this was leaving toxic relationships / situationships, because situationships is very much a common thing in society and culture right now. So I had to throw that in there. So check that video out. But this video is going to be about how I personally started building my relationship with God. And I feel like this can also help other people who, necessarily don't even know where to start or how to even talk to God. And I feel like I may have touched on this in other videos, but I don't think I've actually had a whole video where I was talking about it. So like the preacher said, I won't be before you very long. I'm pretty sure I've talked about this in other videos, but I was raised in church from a super young age. I attended church Sunday, Wednesday, Fridays, shut-ins, sleepovers, cookouts, just all of the things. My childhood was very much church. So I was raised in the church. I was exposed to God, but never really knew God. So as I started to get older and go through different things, even though I was in church, I didn't have a relationship with God. It was very much, I'm just going because Mom's telling me to go. I'm just going because I'm trying to be obedient to my parents. It wasn't until I started experiencing life and started experiencing hurt and pain. It wasn't until I started experiencing those things that it essentially pushed me into seeking God, and it pushed me into praying. I had that desire to seek Him. So in order to start building your relationship, you have to have a desire to seek Him. You have to believe in Him. If you don't believe in God, you won't have a desire to seek what you don't believe in. So you have to believe in God. You have to have that desire to seek Him. And then when you seek, ye shall find. You'll find Him, and He'll begin to start revealing Himself to you, and you'll start having encounters and all of these different experiences and ways. There were certain things that before my relationship with God started, before I started building my relationship with God, I didn't know in that before time that God was with me and God was protecting me and covering me, and just me being crazy and just doing things that I shouldn't have been doing. I didn't know that He was covering me until I really started building my relationship with God, and I looked back on it and I'm like, wow, you've really been here with me the entire time. I just thought that I was like cool. I just thought that, okay, it didn't register in my head that God is protecting me right now and God is coming through for me right now. And it didn't register like that because I didn't have that relationship. But now that I do, I can look back and see all the times that He was there for me, but I didn't necessarily realize that it was Him. You know what I'm saying? So there's just a lot of things as you begin to build your relationship with Him. And just in my personal experience, my relationship started being built when I was going through postpartum depression, when I was trying to figure out how to raise 2 kids and by myself and all of these other things. That's when I started to seek God. I can say it till I'm blue in the face, but it's really something you have to experience when you are just praying to God and you are venting and just crying. Just how it feels naturally to cry and vent to a friend, and you feel lighter after you do that. It's the same way with God, but with people that may not have a relationship with God, and people that may not have been exposed to God the way I was initially. They might think that, oh, this is weird, like I'm crying, like, does He hear me? Is this, or am I like I don't know what's going on. It can feel a little odd at first, but he hears you. It really starts with that desire to seek him, and it usually comes from somebody else's influence. You know, maybe a friend, a close friend started going to church, and you just see them radiating with all of this light and joy, and you're sitting there looking at them like, I want some of that, I need some of that. How What made you change? What made you start glowing from the inside out? You know, what has happened? And then if they simply just tell you, I have been building my relationship with God and been praying more and been going to church, you know, that may lead them, if they weren't going to church with you, maybe they want to go to church with you and start seeing how God is moving in other people's lives. I love testimony service. I love it because you just can see just how God works in everybody's lives. And you can also see that God isn't only showing up and showing out in your life, you can also rejoice because he's also showing up and showing out in somebody else's life too, because God is not only blessing you, and he's not only protecting you, and he's not protecting you, and he's not only looking out for you, he's doing this with so many other people, and it's just amazing just to see how different people experience God in different ways. I feel like finally I am starting to get to a place where I just have peace. I used to be super anxious. I used to be and I'm not generally an anxious person. I feel like just with certain things that were revealed to me by my pastor, different confirmations I received of the promise over my life and what I'm being called to and everything like that, I feel like that developed an anxiousness in me to the point where I was so stuck on when's this gonna happen, that I wasn't focused on, okay, God promised it, so I know it's gonna happen, but I need to stop being anxious about it, and I need to start looking at what the lesson is in this season, and what he's trying to do with me in this season, and what he's developing and transforming within me in this season. I need to start looking at that and being a good steward over this season, because with everything that I've gone through and with every season that I have experienced, there was always a lesson in it, and it was always developing something in me, and I wouldn't want to erase that season, or whatever season it was that was hard for me, or may have been felt unbearable or anything like that. I wouldn't want to erase that season, or I don't want to just not have to go through that, because it definitely developed me and it helped me get to the place where I am now, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And if life is good all the time, you know how are you going to develop? How are you going to grow closer to God? How are you going to learn lessons if you don't go through certain things? So I'm just really grateful for the hard seasons as much as the good ones. Every storm has a purpose, and every storm there's always something that you get out of it. But with the relationship with God that I have, when I lean on him and I seek him and I cling on to my ever-present help, I have that peace in the storm. There have been times where I have been so overwhelmed there have been times in my life where I have been so overwhelmed and just so upset about the wrong thing that I completely missed what was good about that season, because I was so focused on the bad things that were happening. I completely missed what was good in that season. When my babies were like 3 years old. I'll go back and look at pictures and I'll just be, I get kind of sad because it's like, was I really taking it in? And I feel like that's such a common parent thing in general, but it's like, was I really taking it in? Was I really experiencing the fullness of that, of these moments, of that season? Or was I just so focused on what was going wrong and so worried that it may not turn out the way that I would like for it to? And regardless if it turned out the way that I would like for it to, it's not everything is going to turn out the way that you want it to, and it's sometimes better that it doesn't, because the way that we want things to turn out is strictly based off of our current mindset, what feels good to us, what our situation looks like. It's just, you don't always want things to turn out how you want it to turn out. And this comes with, you know, as you seek God and you start experiencing him and you start coming to this realization that he has, you know, we all, not I want to say we all know the scripture because not everybody reads the Bible, but God has a plan for you to prosper you and not to harm you. Once you really hold on to that and you cling to that and you just got it all in there, it makes it easier to not be so upset when things aren't going your way, because if things aren't going my way, maybe this is not, my way isn't the way it's supposed to go. Maybe it's not the way it's supposed to go. I want it to go right. God may want it to go left. And if it go left, he gonna make it right in the end. Ooh, you see what? Woo! He gonna make it right in the end. It's gonna be right in the end because he has the plan. He has the plan for us. He is the beginning and the end. So he knows your entire life. He knows everything that's going to happen in your life. Nothing is surprising to him. Nothing that happens in your life is random or a coincidence. It is all written in the plan for your life, and God knows the end of that plan. He knows the end of the plan. So he's already been where you're at. So he knows how to, I just strongly, if you don't have a relationship with God, please build it, because it helps you get through so many things. Trust me, if I didn't have my relationship with God, or if I didn't have the desire to seek him in the first place, I probably would be A, not here, or two, a completely different person. Not probably just I don't know, but it really just starts with having the desire to seek him. And then sometimes it can be, you can see all these different people on social media. What did I just do? You can see these people on social media and be overwhelmed and intimidated. That's the word I'm looking for. Be intimidated because you think that, oh, I need to pray to God and sound this way. I need to pray to God and, you know, do this, do that, do this. But honestly, it really just starts with, and as you read the Bible and you grow closer to him, your prayer language will change and it will get stronger the more you pray. But when you're just starting off, just have a conversation. Just have a conversation, and as you start to pray and you get to know God, you want to more know, and you want to know more about God, you'll start reading his words, you'll start, you know, just allowing him to pour into you, and you'll be so consumed that you'll just want to talk to him every day. You'll want to get to know who he is every day by being in his word and, you know, being in worship and all of these different things. So it happens. It's gradual. It's not immediate. You know, you're not gonna start talking to God one day and then have the strongest relationship ever the next day. It's definitely gradual and it builds, just like with any relationship when you first meet somebody. So dating, let's talk about dating. So when you see somebody, it's usually based off of looks, because honestly, you can't look at somebody and know their personality. You look at somebody, and if they look nice to you, you got a desire to seek, okay? You have a desire to pursue them. And depending on who you are, if you're usually the pursuer, if you feel really strongly like, oh, I'm about to go, I don't know how I feel about like, oh, the man should pursue or like the woman should pursue. I feel like if you feel like you want to go up to that person and say something, like I personally don't see a problem with it, but everybody has their own thoughts on it. So if you have a desire to pursue, you go pursue. Okay, now you're talking. Now you're having conversations. The conversations don't necessarily always start off deep because you're trying to get to know the basics of that person. With me, I don't like small talk. I really don't. I don't like small talk. I want to know, like, yes, give me the basics. What's your name? What's your name? What do you like to do? Where are you from? Do you have a big family? Like, things like that. I understand getting to the basics, but after a while, I want to know what did your childhood look like? Of course, with me personally, what does your relationship with God look like? Do you recall your first encounter or experience with God? How did that make you feel? What would you say are your weaknesses? Those are the questions that I love to get. And then I also love to, not everybody can answer those questions. Sometimes those questions can be like, whoa, it's a deep question. Not everybody is ready for those types of questions. Essentially, it always starts off with that desire, and then as you get to know somebody, just within any relationship, it builds off of that initial desire, and you get to know everything about them. And then the more you get to know about them, either you fall back or it draws you closer to them. And I'm telling you, the more you get to know about God, it's just going to draw you closer. Because just for me, I love God so much, and what really got me was that He has protected me and blessed me and just been so good to me when I did not deserve it. Like, I didn't deserve it. When I was doing all of these things and just acting crazy, and He still covered me and He still blessed me with something. It's just, He's still good, even when He's still good, and He's still covering me even when I don't deserve it. And He's the one person that I can 100% say He always has my back, and He's always looking out for me, and He always wants the best for me. Who can you say on earth 100% for a fact has your back and is always looking out for you and is always just wants the best for you? Who can you say 100% guaranteed? Who? You could probably say your husband, you could probably say your mama, but at the end of the day, they can really switch up at any point. But there is literally, it's in His word that He will never leave you nor forsake you. So He's not going to leave. And anytime we feel like He has let us down, it's not that He let us down, it's that our expectations let us down, and we expect something to go a certain way, or we expect that we should have something at a certain time, but He never said that. That's what you think, and that's what you believe. So it's not that He let us down, it's that essentially, like I said, our expectations let us down. So it's just, that gets me, that wrecks me every time, because it's like, I do not deserve anything. I don't deserve anything. I don't deserve your love. I don't deserve your grace. I don't deserve how good you are to me. It's just, and you still give it. and you still do it, and it's crazy. It's crazy. So I feel like I said a lot, and I essentially just want to say, when you seek him, you'll find him. Start with a conversation. Don't be intimidated and feel like you gotta speak all biblically in prayer. When you start, just start with a conversation and get to know him and get in his word. And it's gradual. Don't feel like you have to read the whole Bible in order to have a quick relationship, because the quick relationships usually, you know, let's just say couples who have been married for 50 years, they're locked in. They done been through some things together. That's a deep love right there. And you're not gonna get that 50-year relationship love or 50-year friendship love in 2 days. You're just not gonna get it. So it's gradual, and it develops, and it builds, and it's the best relationship that you could ever have. So yes, that was the video on building a relationship with God. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you subscribe and you comment below and like this video, and I will talk to you in the next one. All right, bye.